This is Metzi from Yellow Brick Card Club. You can find us at Yellow Brick Card Club on Instagram. There we have links to our free Discord, our video streams, and whatever else we got going on at the moment. You can find Pierce at Pierce Breaks on Instagram and YouTube, and at reddit.com/r/Pierce Breaks. Both of us run lively, free Discords. Come check us out and enjoy the show.
Card Show, and we are back. We are here with Pierce. What's up, Pierce? How you doing?
I am doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And I went from a giant pile of sealed Tops 1 jumbos and megas to a giant pile of opened Tops jumbo boxes and mega boxes on my desk. It looks pretty cool as a background when we're breaking, but yeah, we're definitely blowing through that Series 1, man.
Yeah, you guys are cruising.
And yeah, it feels like, I don't know. I'm looking at a lot of them. I don't know how we've done it. It's kind of weird because like if you do like a case break, you can be like, oh yeah, last week I did a case. But now we break these up into like, you know, 1 or 2 boxes, like 1 or 2 jumbos or a jumbo and a mega or something like that. And then before you know it, you're like a case and a half in. And how many cards have I been sorting here?
Yeah, right.
So, but it makes it a little more manageable. I think it's not just sorting, and then nothing. So it's an interesting way to do it. Not how I'm used to, but I think it's working pretty well. And it lets us keep some breaks open most of the time too. So I like that too. It's kind of frustrating when you try to jump in somewhere and they don't have any open breaks and everything's scheduled out for a couple weeks and you're just kind of hanging out. So I like that aspect.
Keep subtweeting me. Why don't you? People don't even say that anymore. Yeah, I definitely know what you mean, and I always feel bad. Like, I get a new person who comes in, and they're like, what, any breaks open? And I'm just like, well, I'm booked up for the next 2 weeks, and I am just one man, so I apologize.
Exactly, yeah, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to crank them out. I think it's working out pretty well, but, you know, even still, like, we're since there's smaller breaks, they're, you know, all the spots are cheaper, so they go faster. So it's kind of almost like, do you want to sell a whole bunch of little break spots, or do you want to sell like 1 break's worth of bigger break spots? It kind of doesn't really matter, and you're stuck with the same bad teams anyway, unless you're lucky enough to have a, you know, Marlins fan or something that hangs out. So exactly. Yeah, it's just a little bit. It's the same, but also different. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Have you gotten any? I know you've been breaking a lot of stuff. How's your breaks been going?
They have been going all right. I think we talked about it on the pod at length, just about the frequency of hits in general just feels a little bit less than last year, which can be frustrating. I haven't hit like a huge card. We've gotten some really good ones. We talked about the Yelich Real one, Nacho Alvarez Black, and then this week I hit I don't even remember his name, Rocky's Rookie. We got a clear acetate. I want to say like Greg Bird, but that's like a former Yankees prospect.
That's like an old Yankee.
Yeah, Greg Jones. There we go. Close enough.
But it was a clear. That's awesome. Any clear is a big win, I think.
Yeah,
that's awesome
for sure. And yeah, I mean, just recent breaks in general. We did a half case of hobbies most recently, and that ended up being solid. We had that clear. We had a Jung Hoo Lee team border, and we had a Gunnar Henderson silver pack gold refractor to 50.
Ooh, I didn't see that one. That sounds awesome.
That was at the very end. Nice little surprise in one of our last silver packs. But one of the things I don't know if we talked about, and is purely anecdotal, but I feel like on release day, I was just seeing a ton of team borders come out, and I didn't think their odds were better. Their odds are better than other parallels, but their odds still aren't better than 1 per case, I don't think. But it just seemed like a ton came out, and we got one per case on the release day rips, and then out of a half case we got another one. So
Nice.
seen a lot of team borders, but definitely not mad about it.
Yeah, those are cool, and I think they're really cool this year too. I think we saw one very early on, but nothing since. We got a golden mirror, so those have shown up. Just like a lot of different variations. It's really cool to see. But like you said, there's not a lot of monsters. I'm trying to remember what paper was like last year, paper flagship, but I remember I did not getting really anything super crazy until Chrome came out. So it might just be the nature of things. I think we got some cool autos in Series 2 because that seems to be printed a little less, but they still got, guys like Juan Soto. I got a Juan Soto Series 2 auto on the 89 design last year. So like, those guys are still signing for those products.
Right.
And I don't know, but there was a very informative interview with Blabin about Slabin, I think, on YouTube with the CEO of Fanatics Collections, I think it was, or he's not Michael Rubin, but the guy below him. And he mentioned that they were talking about Mookie Betts signing for Transcendent, which we chatted a little bit about. And somebody, I'm remembering now, somebody said, is Mookie Betts not in Series 1 because he's signing for Series 2? And the guy said, I can't say anything about that. Basically, he didn't say no. So,
well, the other part of that
is
there is a mystery redemption in Series 1.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know who else it would be. I mean, it could be like Sasaki or something, but that seems early. I mean, we know he's going to be in Series 2. A lot of the big free agents will be in Series 2, so maybe it's Mookie.
Yeah, I don't know what he'd be signing, Roki. Like, he kind of didn't come in with the Dodgers uniform until much later, so
right.
But I don't know, maybe they could figure something out. Well, we saw some Roger Clemens cards, right, in Series 1. I don't remember, so maybe I haven't seen the Clemens signatures, so that might be a candidate too. Usually it's either somebody super popular or somebody who hasn't signed in a while. So yeah, right. It could be Mookie. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But it does seem like he did say that Mookie Betts is back signing for Fanatics, so he should have auto products in the stuff we're looking at. So that is very exciting as a very small Mookie PC person. I would love to add one of those. But yeah, I was kind of thinking about all the people that have Mookie autos from 2013, and I think there's a couple 2014s that have on-card autos. I think that was the last time he did it. And now, if they're going to have more Mookie autos, what are you going to do with those those autos you have? How valuable are those going to be when they start the availability goes up? So I don't know. Anyway, just stuff I've been thinking about with this year. But we've opened a lot of Series 1. We've got some cool stuff. Ricky Henderson autograph, which was just amazing to unbox
for sure,
especially at this time, was just really special to see. We had the break battle. I don't think we've talked since then, not because we haven't stopped talking, but because
we haven't recorded our conversations.
Yeah, and we got some great stuff out of there, right? We got 2 different Don Mattingly's, right? I got a gold and a red prism. Is that what it was?
Insane.
So, no numbered, but also very rare. Like both of us. Yeah, that was very weird. But yeah, we got a lot of low numbered stuff. So that was super fun. I mean, Platinum Anniversary just seems to be like, I don't know. Even in this break battle, I'm looking at what we got. It looks like I got 5 of those out of 499 Topps Fractors, which kind of sunk me for the battle. Spoiler alert, we lost. But after that, it was like, we got a bunch of stuff under 100, and I know you got a lot of stuff. And some bonus autos. So yeah, that was great.
We love the bonus autos. Yeah, I got 2 Aqua autos to 150, which was awesome. And
yeah, right.
One of them was Barry Zito, which was a fun color match.
Barry Zito, right? Nice.
Yeah. We got some really good ones. Rosarena, Rose Gold Twal, George Kirby Mini Diamond. So I don't think we've said it on the podcast, but I've said it since the set came out. I was able to scrounge up blasters, going to the LCS and stuff like that. And the blasters just always were hot. And I was trying to find blaster cases when they came out, and they were like nowhere to be found. And now they're popping up, but they're still a little bit pricey. So we'll see. Hopefully it will go the way of 2022 and 2021, where it'll eventually come down a bit more. We can get like $20-$25 blasters.
Yeah, we'll see if they're still out there. I think we got a pretty good price on the ones we got. They were still more expensive than what we're used to playing, but not by that much. It was tolerable. So, and we actually got to open a few more. We did another break right after that with 5 more blasters. We did 5 blasters. We got 1 card at $199, and then everything else was 100 or under, which was incredible. Out of 5 boxes, we got a Devers out of 75 rose gold. We got 199 and 3 100s, and then we got a Jordan Groshans auto out of 99, a blue tool auto for the Marlins, which is just this weird like bluish color match with Miami, but not really, but also this weird shape thing is making it, the pattern is making it look, it's very strange looking card. It looks really awesome. It looks a lot better than it actually is, because it's, unfortunately, it's Jordan Groshans, but no offense, but I don't think there's a lot of people looking for those. So, but it was an awesome card and 5 awesome boxes. I think it's probably the 5 best Platinum Anniversary boxes I've opened. So that was super fun. I mean, that's always a trip, and I hope we can see those again soon for this year.
Definitely.
Whenever they can get around to it.
Yeah, exactly. We have seen more concrete rumors, but they are still rumors, that Heritage High Number is coming. It's coming at the end of March, so we got another month to go, potentially. But
chomping at the bit, huh?
A little bit.
I'm ready to get that Heritage High Number. Yeah, sure. I saw one guy on Blowout, I think, who said that I heard it was March 25th. Has anybody else heard? And then no one else said anything. So, But it seems like more often than not, when it's standard products like that and somebody finds a date, then it's usually pretty close. Yes. It just seems like every time I go to my LCS and I ask the guy about release dates or stuff that he knows is coming up, he's like, I don't have anything for you. And then when he does, it's like, oh yeah, in 2 weeks I'm getting this. And they just told me. So it just seems like that's kind of the way. It's not just us, like that's the way they deal with it. If you get it from another distributor, he has a, not just Topps, but other distributors, sometimes they're a little bit earlier. So I was able to get like a tip on some like holiday calendar, advent calendars when those were coming out. But like they don't get a lot of notice either. So I think any kind of info that comes out is, if somebody's willing to say it, they probably have a good reason. Like there's no reason to really lie about it at this point. Like everybody knows that, like, it all comes out at once basically. So, exactly. But yeah, that's what we've been hearing, expecting end of March. And we got this, as of right now, we have about a month to wait for that. So we're going to stick it out with Series 1. We got a lot more Series 1 to open. We've been getting a lot of like rainbow foil stuff. We've been opening some jumbos, so we've been getting some jumbo stuff, but most of it we've been opening a lot of megas. So we've been getting a lot of rainbow foils. We've been getting a lot of pinks. We opened a whole bunch of hangers. I think we've done a half case of hangers so far. Dang. Which is super fun. I love the Diamantes. They look super cool. It's impossible to describe. So if you can pick up a hanger, and I think you get 2 per box. So they're just super cool. If you get a gold one, it's even cooler. Or a pink. We got a couple pinks. They're great. Let's see. I think we got a James Wood or a Gunnar Henderson and Jackson Holiday. Some of those guys, we got a bunch of pinks and also rainbow foils at the same time. So like we got pairs of those guys. We got 2 breaks that both had pairs of James Wood cards, which was pretty crazy. And we had 1 break. It was 2 jumbos, or no, 1 jumbo and 2 megas, and we got 2 Independence Days cards.
Oh wow.
Which was wild. Like 3 boxes. One of them was a jumbo, but still, like 3 boxes, 2 Independence Days. Like that's never happened to me before. Yeah, right. So that was pretty shocking. So yeah, we've gotten some pretty cool stuff. We finally got a real one auto. We got a Brooks Lee real one auto, which is a great one to get. Nice. We're really happy with that. We have 1 more box of black and white. We had 2. We ripped 1 recently and got a Randy Johnson out of 5. So we've got a Skeens out of 5 and a Randy Johnson out of 5. Unfortunately, a D-backs Randy Johnson. No offense, but could be better.
Unfortunately.
Man, what else? There's just tons of stuff. I think the weirdest thing so far out of S1 that we haven't talked about is like, if you're opening retail, the pinks and the purples look almost exactly the same. It's almost impossible, and kind of ironically, it's easier to tell if you don't have any light, because the light makes the rainbow come out and kind of messes up how the color is coming out, if that makes sense. And so, like, even if you hold them up right next to each other, I did it in the last break. Even if you hold them up right next to each other, it's really hard to tell if you don't see which one is serial numbered. So that's kind of odd, but I don't know. Somebody mentioned that like maybe that would be a interesting eBay hunt to see if anybody is like, mislabeling their stuff, because it's easy to make a mistake.
It's always happens when stuff like that, like gold and yellow foils.
Yeah, for sure. Especially that too. Yeah, something to hunt for on eBay. Seems like there's always one or two things where people make obvious errors and you can get a good deal. Especially with the unnumbered stuff, like, you know, there's like the aquas, they're unnumbered, but they're also pretty rare. I think the print run was under 200 or under 300 or something like that. And people don't know that, so they go for less. So you can pick up a rare-ish card and have that in your collection for not as much. I think I did that with a couple Wyatt Langfords last year. I was trying to put together some of those rookies and got some great deal on the rare yellow rainbow stuff, because people just didn't know. Right. So yeah, still going on. And then I think my favorite break we did was it last night or 2 nights ago. We've been ripping some MPB stuff. And mostly Topps Chrome, and I've talked about it before. The amazing cards, they look awesome. So we started to get into some other stuff, and a lot of the hobby stuff is hard to get. You can kind of go out of your way if you want to get some stuff. We've been trying to we get a lot of the top stuff from Amazon Japan, and really the only issue is high shipping. But if you're getting enough product, then that's not as big of a deal. But we also found some Epic stuff. So we found their kind of flagship. We had a box of those, and they had it must have been a hobby with 24 packs of 12 cards, kind of standard configuration there. Those are really cool cards. They're kind of Stadium Club-ish. They're borderless, big photos, kind of the standard stuff you'd expect. Great pictures. A lot of really funny, like, all of the rookies are either at like a press conference or doing like a pose or something like that. So they don't have any action shots of those guys. And they also have manager cards, which is a fun quirk about Japanese baseball cards. Is every set I've opened has had manager cards in it. And so you got these fun pictures of these old guys kind of making weird poses and stuff. Yeah. Looking benevolent. And so that was fun. Nice. There was a silver border, very thin silver border card in each pack. And there were 2 gold border ones that were the same design but gold border, and they're numbered to 258, 285 for some reason. I don't know why, but that's the number. So that's how it works in Epic Land, I guess. So that was super fun to open. Those are great looking cards. And then part of the reason I wanted to do it is they also had Epic Luxury, which is a small box with, I think there were 9 cards in there. And we don't get to do that very often, just with the way we operate, is to open that stuff with not too many cards in the box. So it was a great opportunity. It wasn't super expensive. I mean, it was more expensive than the paper stuff, but they're all numbered, all chrome. There are 2 packs. There's you get a little white box and you get a little black box. And it's like, oh, which one? Like, am I... which angel or devil do I want on my shoulder? And so we opened the white box, and it had the refractors in them. There are 3 standard refractors, but they're numbered to 86. So that was kind of the limit to the most populous cards. And I couldn't really find what the whole checklist was, but I don't think it was the whole MPB roster from the main flagship set. So, a little lower print number. And there were some other patterns. Like, there was this really cool, like, grid pattern. It's very hard to explain. And a, like, LCD screen kind of a rainbow dot matrix thing that was super cool. It's kind of like, in Cosmic, they have that, I think it's a blue moon pattern, but it has that, like, kind of sonar dot
Yeah,
pattern to it. It was like that, but rainbow. Super cool. They're awesome
that's
cards.
fun.
Yeah, super fun. You know, even though there are a lot of the people we didn't recognize, we did get some names. But I mean, the cards are awesome looking. We got an auto, which was cool to see. It was a sticker, but it's like a square sticker because they have, you know, more of a square kind of autograph when they sign in whatever Japanese characters they're using. And then the last card was a Munetaka Murakami on an all-star insert,
Ooh.
and it's numbered out of 10. It has this huge star, kind of like, you know, the star you draw when you're a kid. That's the 5-point star that goes around in one, you know, pencil stroke, like
Yeah.
that, but giant with gold rainbow all over it. And then there's a bunch of embossed stars in the card, like gold stars. And it's incredible. And I'm pretty sure what I said was, I would slit some throats for that Murakami card when I was in like a fugue after seeing it.
Yeah.
And it's only partially true. So it's incredible. Like I haven't been this crazy about a card in a long time. Like I'm trying to bother the guy to sell it to me, but I don't think he wants to. That's probably why you got into the Epic break right anyway, right? Like if you're into Japanese cards, you want to keep them.
Yeah.
Comps are impossible, of course. So just like not a lot of this stuff floating around. But anyway, it was just an amazing card to unearth. Super fun to open, just like random stuff like that you don't get a shot at very often. So I had a great time. Lots of paper, but also some fun stuff too. So it's great to mix that in.
Nice.
I know you got a bunch of non-baseball stuff that you've been working on. Have you? I know you got a couple breaks you're going to do in the future, but have you opened any since we talked last? I know you got like a cool Spider-Man last time and some really really nice cards out of that throwback masterpieces set. But did you get anything else since then?
Well, I can't remember how much we talked about it previously, but it's basically all your fault. I mean, I was already doing Star Wars when I could get my hands on it. We did a Star Wars Chrome break back when that came out, and we did Star Wars Chrome Black a little bit ago because it was on sale for Black Friday. And then we were able to get our hands on some Star Wars Hyperspace. So I did a couple boxes of that last night, and it was really cool. It's interesting. I don't know if it's quite worth the price tag, especially on the secondary market. Prices have gone insane. I know the boxes that we got were below average, but I also know that the odds are pretty tough for any big hits. It's like 2 autos per 8-box case or something like that.
Wow.
So it's not that, you're not always getting Star Wars cards for the autos. It's obviously nice to get, but we got a Dorme Gold to 50, one of Padme's handmaidens, played by Rose Byrne. So actually,
oh wow,
kind of a big name in the non-Star Wars universe, not as big a name in the Star Wars universe. And we got a Jar Jar Binks to 25. That was our lowest numbered card of the evening. So that was fun. Yeah. I mean, basically the way the set is structured is it's like based on certain planets. One of the planets is Naboo. So it's very, very prequel heavy with a lot of the characters that are in it. And it's interesting because it focuses on beasts and ships as well. So personally, the ships are more exciting than the beasts, but it's still just kind of weird. Like, it's hard to make some of those cards exciting with just like a picture of a ship or like a profile of this random beast that you're like, what even is this thing? if you're not a Star Wars freak like myself and others. But overall, it was a lot of fun. Like the presentation is really cool. The box is nice. It's got like I don't know. It's like a soft finish. It's like a chest shape, and it has a hinge on the back, kind of like the Brooklyn collection. And so it's just good presentation, but the cards itself, or the boxes, it's like the cards themselves are nice, good quality. good, cool looking parallels, but just the cost of the box, I'm not sure. Not
Mhm.
sure if it's worth it. I was lucky enough to just get a bunch of people that are in Montgomery Club that got the one box they were allowed to were like, "Do you want this?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll take it for your pre-order price and the cost of shipping." So it worked out
It's
well.
nice.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to a bunch of people in the community. Father and Son Sport Cards, Riggy, and Hash Slinging Slasher all pretty much reached out to me. I think Riggy was the only one that I reached out to when I saw that he got one, but Father and Sons knew that I did Star Wars stuff in the past and Hash Slinging Slasher too. So that was really cool of them to do that and enabled us to open some fun cards. We also have X-Men Finest 20. I don't know if it's 25 or 2024, one of those, but it's a new set that just came out this week. Thanks to you, we were able to get 2 boxes. So again, very thankful for that. And
Mhm.
another release day that I fumbled, but not because I forgot about it this time. This time I tried to go for a case and they got sold out. And so when I went back for hobbies, they were sold out by the time I could get to my cart,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
classic
So
issue. It's happened to
yeah,
me before.
yeah. So, I mean, like we've talked about, I don't know if I would have been able to do breaks with the boxes, but I at least would have been able to move them based on the demand for them.
Mhm.
So, I've seen some pictures and stuff, and they do look really awesome. So, I'm a little bit sad that we didn't get any more, but I will be excited when those come in and we can open those up.
Take a look, yeah. And it's interesting because it like the masterpieces stuff was mostly like comic art, and
Hmm.
the X-Men Finest is like all cartoon, right? It's from the like '97. It was
Yes,
a
the
Fox
TV
Fox
show.
cartoon. I remember watching that all the time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, different
there's the
styles. It's
reboot.
pretty cool.
Yeah, the reboot came out in the past few months. Just like not even a reboot, actually, it's a continuation of the old show.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, be on the
Cool.
lookout for that. But they brought back a bunch of the voice actors and everything. So I started watching it, and I just don't watch a ton of TV these days because baseball cards take up a lot of my free time. So
Good to
shocker.
hear, man. Yeah, I'm just starting Severance right now, so I'm no spoilers, but I'm behind on most of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about, and yeah, getting skunked on those boxes, it's really frustrating, especially when you know something is going to go fast, and you're like, I'm going to
Hmm.
get that case, but everybody goes for the case first,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, let's try to grab something else, and then that goes while you're trying to buy it too. So I don't know
Yeah.
how to fix that problem. I know Topps website bots do exist.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if I would use one and give it my credit card number, but I think
Yeah.
there probably are a lot of people who are doing that. That makes it more difficult. Um, Fortunately, really the only advantage is a lower price, which is great. I mean, paying less is great, but um, one of the advantages to doing a break is you're splitting the cost between a whole bunch of people, right?
Right.
So if it's not too much more inflated, the individual hit on the price is not going to be too bad. Like it might $50 might mean a lot to us, but that's less than $2 a spot for 30 teams. So if you break
Right.
that up enough, the burden gets distributed, I guess, is what you could say.
Yeah.
So it sucks to miss out on that stuff, but it's not the end of the world. You can usually get what you want if you're willing to pay for it. So
Right.
that's good
And
news.
just it's that and patience too, the stuff is going to
Mhm.
come down eventually.
I mean, you say that's kind of a trap to fall in though, like because it's easy. Like I said that about Cosmic the first year it came out, and
Hmm.
was like, I'll get it later, and it never came back.
Yeah.
And then the next year I was like, oh, maybe I'll try to get it, but I don't know. And I think I missed it for whatever reason. And then this year I was like, okay, I'm gonna get Cosmic this year when it comes out. And then it was the lottery
Yeah, they
everywhere
just
I
made it
saw,
impossible for like a
so you
normal
just couldn't
person to
get it.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and then
ridiculous.
immediately it was like 75% more expensive, and then it's just going up. I think Cosmic is like pushing $500 or $600 a box right now, so
It's just insane.
it's ridiculous. I know we have a great rookie class, but like people are just I don't. I was gonna say over the moon, but I shouldn't have. That's not what I meant. People just went bonkers for it. So yeah, so it's easy to say like, oh, I'll wait for later, but sometimes it's just gets out of hand really quickly. So you can never really tell. I'm starting to learn more the more I do this, like kind of how to
Right.
figure out. Like for example, the unlicensed basketball market has been really interesting because there's a lot of Victor Wembanyama stuff that came out when Topps put out Chrome Basketball and some of that stuff a little bit earlier, and last year when they started putting out basketball stuff. So that was sold really well, and then they had the Wembanyama Mercury set, which was crazy expensive. Of course, that sold really well because it had some pretty unique stuff in it. Everyone was Wembanyama mad, and then it seems like after that, it just collapsed. Like people were done with unlicensed Wembanyama stuff, and so I was like, "Oh, Chrome Basketball. Maybe this will be like Chrome Baseball." It was not like Chrome Baseball. It's like the opposite. Like you couldn't make your money back if you tried on Chrome Basketball now. And then I pre-ordered Topps Midnight Basketball several months ago, but canceled my pre-order. And they dropped today at $2.99, and you can get them on eBay for less than MSRP.
Oh, geez.
So that's never a good sign. So it's the kind of the lessons you learn, and like, yeah, people still hate unlicensed stuff, even if it's Topps, even if it has a crazy rookie. Like there's there are things that move around like that, and it's tough to get a handle on. So I guess if you have people you can count on to probably help you out and buy your spots, just grab what comes out when it comes out, because it's never going to be any cheaper, and if it is, you probably don't want it. So that's kind of the rule of thumb, I suppose. But
yeah, I guess for non-sports stuff, it seems like eventually it will fall. Like, but just looking at 2023 Topps Chrome, the prices are pretty affordable, and obviously the Chrome Black cards we got like $63 a box, which is
okay,
half off of what they were at, I would assume, at MSRP. Chrome Black is usually around 120, if not more. It's actually, I feel like baseball is like 220 or something.
Yeah.
But
how many cards did you get in that box? Do you remember?
5, I think.
5? Okay, so similar.
It's 5 and 1 encased auto.
Yeah.
But they're really, you think Star Wars characters, but they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for some of these autographs. Like, one of them we got his name was just Drummer, not even a named character. It's just Drummer. And I'm pretty sure it's from like one of the ending episodes of Andor. If you watched Andor, there's like a procession through the city, and I'm pretty positive that's where he was from. But it's also
like one drummer guy they took the likeness from and made a card.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, they gotta pad that checklist somehow. It's
but
funny
because
because
like, there's so many random characters in Star Wars. There's like so many people that have names that you wouldn't expect to have names. Like in the set that we just opened last night, there's like these 2 random Bespin guards. It's like just ridiculous names. And it's like, these are named characters in Star Wars. Like,
they only have names because they had to put it on the script.
Yeah.
So when to talk.
They have names because they had to sell the action figures afterwards. That's
or the
why.
trading cards, I guess.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's an interesting analog because it's like in baseball, it's like, okay, well, we have all these teams with 40-man rosters. If I need more autos, I'll just grab one of their farm hands.
Exactly.
And have them sign a bunch of cards. In Star Wars, it's more like we have another character. Let's hunt down this voice actor or whatever, and like get him to sign a bunch of stickers.
Yeah.
And you have to get real obscure with it to have somebody who's I guess you could say the same thing for baseball. You have to be a pretty deep fan to get into some of those autos we're seeing. So yeah, that's funny. I was looking at it wasn't a break. It was a video about hyperspace because I was trying to figure out like what's going on here. Like you said, the box looks awesome. The cards look pretty cool. There were a lot of just like it's one thing to have random characters, but there were a lot of just random ships, like you said.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is like the crappiest cargo ship in the universe or something like that. And it's like, it's a card in hyperspace. You can get it. And it was a kid and his dad, and they were opening cards. And the dad was obviously super into Star Wars. And the kid was just like, he was like, oh, look at this cool ship. And the dad's like, he's just skipping straight to the number stuff. And so, yeah, I guess it happens in all different styles of cards. It's the same kind of deal. But yeah, it's interesting to talk about the prices because, like, you know, the WWE Chrome stuff came out, and I don't know if that's the first Topps WWE licensed set, but it's the first, like, kind of really nice one I've seen.
It's definitely the first Topps licensed WWE in a while. I want to say like 20 years, something like that. Like, it's been a long time since Topps has had licensed WWE cards.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell if it was like, because the fan base for wrestling, I think, might be, I don't know actually if I want to say this. They're both pretty rabid, right? Like Star Wars fans, wrestling fans, tons of merch. Anything you want to buy, you can buy. So, but the WWE Chrome set, like those the boxes, those were also lottery, right? And the prices were way up like right away, and those are really expensive to get too. So I don't know if that's because they didn't print enough, underestimated it, or because they wanted it to be limited, or it seems like the first set you put out in a long time should be, you know, it should be nice, but it should be also accessible so people can get it. But I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to rip some, which was fun, but I'm definitely not diving headfirst into the WWE collecting world. There's, like you said, the cost has gone way up. But I was gonna say before it was gonna be a perfect segue, but then we started talking about WWE. I was gonna say, speaking of no-name baseball players, we are just diving into spring training, and that's the fun part of spring training, is seeing all these prospects that you may or may not know about and seeing what they can do and seeing them get to go up against major league pitching and, you know, just playing every day and seeing how these young guys do. So it's really cool. It's a really fun time. I know my guy Gino Groover has been out there. I don't think he's been playing a ton. Obviously in the beginning they're kind of playing more of the major league level guys and trying to figure out what the major league roster is going to look like. But hopefully in the coming weeks, we'll see more of these young guys and see what they can do. Have you been, how deep have you gone into spring training so far?
Yeah, I'm pretty much like a top 15 prospects sort of guy. Like I keep track of some of the better ones. I try to follow the draft a little bit to see at least who we get at the beginning, but I'm always surprised when Bowman time comes around. We did some Bowman draft this year, and I pulled some Mariners and was like, who is this? Like, I didn't know we drafted this guy. But you know, you can only go so far when you have so much time. But you know, you have your notifications on your phone, and I'm getting all the spring training stuff. And actually, they had a doubleheader today, so it was even weirder. Like the inning number would go lower rather than higher over time sometimes, and so you'd have to figure out what's going on. But you know, when you were saying like they're facing major league pitching, when they get to the later innings, it's just like, especially in the earlier games, they just throw whoever out there.
True.
And you see these, like, somebody scored a run and like you don't recognize the pitcher or the batter.
Yeah.
Like okay, might as well be little league, I guess. I have no idea. But it's fun. It's a little frustrating that they have limited video.
Yes, definitely.
And the video they do have is pretty basic, and so you can't get great highlights or anything like that from it. I think that would be a great improvement if they could put some energy into making that more accessible, because people want to watch baseball and they're trying to hype spring training. It seems like every year, whenever you're involved in baseball, you get a lot of spring training content coming your way and people like hyping up the baseball season and stuff, but it's so hard to watch that like it's frustrating for me. I don't know how many other people, but like I feel like they could make a lot of improvements in that. So but yeah, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch some of those guys come back and start hitting homers and stuff. And we signed Rowdy Tellez, I think, like last week to my
Nice.
minor league contract because we're perpetually in a DH hole we can't seem to get out of, and probably need a backup first baseman too. And it was like, oh, it's Rowdy Tellez, all right. But honestly, Rowdy would have been a better DH than anybody we put out there last year. So, like, that's how bad it was. So, like,
Yeah.
okay,
Hey,
let's have him.
don't diss Rowdy.
Hey, he can still mash because he hit like a 440
Exactly.
foot home run. Like his first game, I think it was. He came up there and like he's actually looking a little trimmer than I remember.
Oh boy.
And he just crushed a ball. Like it was a high fastball and he just destroyed it. And so it was like, okay, if we can have a guy like that instead of, I don't even know what name, just like some tiny guy who can barely get it out of the infield.
Right.
Have a chance.
Yeah.
More plate discipline, but I love Rowdy. He's great. I'm sad what happened to him last year with the Pirates kind of screwing him out of a bonus by cutting him early, and that was pretty sad. But hopefully the Mariners won't do him dirty. I will appreciate having him. I think anybody who can hit a baseball at this point is welcome. Like I was looking at the scores, like the last 3 or 4 games have been like 1 run for most of the games. I think they've scored like 3 runs in the last like 25 innings or something like that. And I'm like, they're in mid-season form. The Mariners are ready to go.
Yeah.
So that's a little frustrating. It'd be nice to see a little bit more life out of them, but there's plenty of time. They don't even start playing the Tokyo games for another 3 weeks. So
right. Yeah, and that's not even the real season start. There's going to be even more spring training after that. So, yeah, I think the most excited I am is because my guy Corbin Carroll is mashing the ball and looks nice. Very good coming out of the gate. So obviously, it's spring training, so we take everything with a grain of salt, but he's got 2 homers already. One of them is a grand slam, and he stole home the other day. So the speed is there and the power is there. So
it's locked in. All right.
He's locked in.
Battle boy to watch.
Yes. Cool. But speaking of spring training stats, don't matter. Keep an eye out for Pirates left fielder Matt Gorski, tied for the lead in home runs with 3 and leading spring training with 10 RBIs.
Wow.
Literally have never heard of this person before.
But they're also getting on base, which maybe that's a good sign for the Pirates too. Hard to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. Like people always say like, oh, spring training stats don't matter. And I think that's more true for pitchers. Like,
yeah,
because a lot of the guys, like they'll go out there and they'll try out stuff they don't necessarily like. George Kirby got crushed the other day, and like, they're
trying new pitches.
They're trying stuff out. Yeah, they're stretching out. It's not a big deal. But like, and then people are like, oh yeah, they're not hitting against what they normally be seeing in games and stuff. But like, everybody still cares about the home runs, right? Like every time, like, oh, Bryce Harper hit a home run. Oh my god, like it doesn't change. Like a home run is a home run. So, I personally love home runs and I like seeing them. And all the stars are coming back. So yeah, it's you're definitely getting the tinglies for baseball. It's on its way back. Things are getting nicer. I know you have a spring training story, right? But have you had a lot of experience going to spring training? Have you got to do it recently, or
I have
just
not?
When you're younger?
Yeah, I have not. Well, it's a little bit of both. I haven't gone recently. The last time I went was 9 years ago when I moved back to California. My dad and I drove across the country and we made a stop at spring training. I looked it up to confirm that my memory was correct, and it was. I got to see Greinke's first start in a D-backs uniform when he was starting his spring training game, and my dad got us awesome tickets right behind home plate. So obviously a lot easier to do that in spring training, but it was very, very cool to sit there, watch the game there, see Greinke. He was, the first. The D-backs weirdly just like spring for these aces randomly. Then they like go a couple years without spending, then sign Madison Bumgarner and he completely implodes, and then he gets off the books and they go out and get Corbin Burns. So hopefully he's more Greinke than Bumgarner. I can't imagine he will be Bumgarner. I will be furiously knocking on wood. But yeah, so we got to go. I got to, you get to just like walk up to the practice field and guys are taking cuts and guys are fielding and pitchers are throwing to catchers and you're just like walking around the practice facility. I have a ball actually because we literally parked right outside, like the parking lot is right outside the outfield fence, and somebody crushed a homer and it literally rolled right in front of us. We're like, all right, that's awesome.
Baseball players everywhere.
Yeah,
That's cool.
so I don't even know who hit it, but I still have the ball. It's good memory with my dad and I. So that was cool. And then we're standing there, watching guys, and Paul Goldschmidt walked right past me, and I was completely starstruck, just like, oh my God, it's him. Height of his D-backs powers.
That's
very,
awesome.
very cool. And I had completely blocked out of my mind that he had signed with the Yankees, and then I saw a picture of him in the Yankees uniform, and I was just disgusted.
Yeah, I think I saw a clip of him getting blown away by some pitcher, and it's like, oh no, is this the Twilight Paul Goldschmidt? This is gonna be sad.
Yeah,
hopefully not. But
hopefully not.
Yeah, that's super cool. I actually I looked into it a little too late, so I didn't end up pulling the trigger. But I looked into spring training stuff this year, and surprisingly more affordable than I expected. I don't know if it was because of it was earlier games and earlier in the spring training season or whatever you want to call it, kind of like Mardi Gras. Like if you go to the first week of Mardi Gras, it's not as big of a deal, but it's still like there's still parades and stuff.
Yeah,
you can still drink in the street, so that's fine. But
I think generally spring training is pretty affordable. I don't think the tickets ever get to the same level as major league games. And so I highly recommend it to anyone that's on the fence about it or lives nearby. It's just a blast. It's super affordable. You're just going to watch baseball. You're just a fan of baseball, and you just get so much more access than you would at a major league game. Like, it's the same everywhere where the kids looking for autographs are always going to get priority, but it's much easier to approach athletes at different points of their day, and it's not unexpected. You're still like at the facility or whatever. So I can't recommend it enough. I've definitely been wanting to go the past few years and it just hasn't worked out, but I will do it one of these years coming up for sure.
Well, maybe we have enough time to have YBRB Con West next year. And who doesn't want to be in Phoenix in late February? Like, I'm a northerner, so I'm like, God, get me out of here.
Exactly.
If it's over 60 degrees, like, I want to be there. I don't care. But yeah. Somebody mentioned that it was just like baseball players everywhere, like at every level, and they're all just going around and getting their business done, and like you're just kind of living. It's like a weird baseball player zoo.
For sure.
That sounds awesome. That sounds great. I would love to do it. So put that on the calendar for soon. I don't know if my 5-year-old even next year will be ready to do it to the level I would like to do it, but that would be fun too.
Well, that's yeah, he's the perfect age to be your autograph gopher. Just send him out there with the pen and a card or a baseball or whatever, and they'll just see this cute kid and be like, sure, kid. You just have to. The story that my dad loves to tell, because we used to go when I was a kid. He used to go with his brother, my cousin, me, and then my brother when he was a little older, because he's younger than I am. But he always loves to tell the story of my brother going up to a Giants player and giving him his hat to sign, and the player turns the hat over and it's a D-backs hat, and he like looks at my dad like, really? And my dad just like shrugs, and he's like, he's asking for it. And so the Giants guy signed the D-backs hat and gives it back to my brother.
Yeah, he's a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do it. It's a kid. Come on.
Well, and good. It was, some random dude. It wasn't like he walked up to Barry Bonds or JT Snow or something like that. So
awesome, man. Well, yeah. my kid's going to his first year of coach pitch here coming up. And,
Oh,
it'll be a whole new calendar year by the time spring training comes around again. So maybe he'll be ready to be excited about it and bother players for autographs. So I think he'd be into that. Like he likes, I don't know how to describe it, doing tasks, like things.
Yeah, there you
things,
go.
Yeah. So like, I'll go get this autograph. And like, yeah, I think he'd be into it. He loves baseball cards, even though he doesn't really know what they are, but so maybe that'll feel it. And like, they're not going to turn this into dad pod, but like they change so much at this age. So like next year he'll be completely different. So who knows? But yeah, I mean, like from Seattle, at least the flights seemed reasonable. The hotels seemed reasonable. Like a lot less than I was expecting for like a major event that lots of people go to, kind of thing, like a con or something like that. I mean, it all seemed like really doable, and it seemed doable enough to like bring the whole family and get a hotel with a nice pool. And even if they don't want to come with you, then they got a place to hang out and go down the water slide all day. Like he doesn't care. So
exactly.
Yeah, it seems like a really good deal. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that as a family trip, but definitely keeping an eye on baseball in general too. Very excited to see the big boys come out, especially the pitchers, which is what we're most looking forward to. But a lot of questions, a lot of teams with a lot of questions. Seems like there's a lot of teams that have kind of like high ceiling, low floors. Like, like if all of these things work out, you're going to be really good. But if there's a high probability that a lot of them won't. And so like, like we have Randy Arozarena now, and that sounds great, but which Randy's going to show up, right? Like,
right.
And after changing teams so abruptly, and how well is he going to adapt? And you got questions about all those guys, so it's going to be fun to watch them interact, I think, mostly for now. And then when they start getting more serious about it, you can kind of start analyzing how they're doing a little bit more and getting some expectations set. And so, baseball's coming. I'm super excited. I'm ready to have it on TV basically all the time.
Yes.
for better or for worse.
No doubt.